A lot of gold down here, right? Where is it now? That's what we're here to find out.
So we got 2 jars here.
Here we go.
Let's see.
Just now, Parker took over a historic gold mine in Bolivia, and the tension is clear. Venturing into the haunting vastness of the Bolivian Altiplano, he's stepping into a world where every breath is thick with the legacy of gold quests.
The team had 8 hours across the vast Altiplano plateau.
In the dusty mining town of Puo, built atop golden veins, every conversation and cracked smile speaks of survival and wild hopes. What fierce challenges and hidden riches does this ancient land hold? Tune in as we dive into the painful details of Parker's bold investment. An exploration of the heart of Bolivian gold. While Peru was amazing, Parker feels like this next part of the trip might be the most exciting yet. There's something about the unknown that gets everyone's energy up. They don't know exactly what's ahead, but that's what makes it an adventure. As the sun set, Parker found an old map inside a statue, pointing to secrets no one talked about. With high spirits, they begin an 8-hour drive across the wide, flat Altiplano plateau. The emptiness of the landscape makes it feel like they've left the real world behind. After hours on the road, they finally arrive at the frontier town of Puo. This town sits on top of the same gold-filled quartz veins that supply La Rinconada. Over the centuries, these veins have spread gold all over the vast plains of the Altiplano. In the small, bustling mining town, he made the decision that it was time to engage with the locals and gather knowledge from the seasoned miners. He appreciated the approach of gradually assembling insights to form a strategy, finding excitement in the unpredictability of each discovery. As he wandered through the town, he absorbed the essence of the local culture and the mining lifestyle, observing the daily routines and traditions that painted a vivid picture of community life. This exploration allowed him to connect more deeply with the environment, enhancing his understanding of the challenges and rewards faced by those who called this rugged place home. But this wasn't the hardest part. These trips are all about visiting as many mining sites as they can, often making decisions on the spot, hoping they won't regret not planning more. What a strange little place, he says as they get deeper into the remote town. It doesn't even feel real anymore. After 4 weeks in Peru, he and his team now find themselves in the remote highlands of Bolivia, in the rugged mining town of Puo. Here, every person they meet might know something about a hidden mining spot. Always excited about mining, he feels like they're getting back to the main goal of their trip, finding gold and checking out small, off-the-map mining operations. He expresses a desire to speak with the man they had passed earlier, hoping he might possess valuable information. As he communicates this to his group, he urges Diego to continue exploring the area. During their inquiries, they encounter locals who suggest consulting an aged miner known to still seek gold in the region.
In a place like this, when you're just like panning in a creek, you're usually kind of looking for like float gold, like that.
Curious, he inquires whether the miner actively engages in his trade. The locals confirm the miner's ongoing pursuits and speculate about the location of his clandestine gold finding spots. Among themselves, they share a lighthearted moment, acknowledging that in such communities, certain secrets are meticulously preserved. So they decide to take a chance and head to the edge of town. This is where the real journey into Bolivia's gold country is about to begin. He started his search for Bolivian gold in a very simple way, sifting through the water in a nearby creek. This method, though basic, can sometimes lead to bigger discoveries. Prospectors often hope that finding small pieces of gold means that larger deposits are further upstream. But here the ground was dark and muddy, which usually isn't a good sign. Another find sparks new excitement, exposing the largest gold find in history. Now, imagine discovering the richest gold mine. He has just done that, achieving something that seemed almost impossible. This achievement is going to be written into the history books. Just moments ago, he uncovered the largest gold deposit ever, with reports saying their gold total now stands at 6,988 ounces. The size of this find is astounding, and everyone is curious about how he did it and what this means for the future of gold mining. But this wasn't the hardest part. Mitch Blasky, one of his key partners, was facing a huge challenge at their Yukon site. He was aiming to mine 1,000 ounces of gold, but knew there was still a lot of work ahead. At the same time, they were collecting old leftover dirt, hoping it would bring a big gold haul. Mitch was tasked with mining 90 acres in one season, a huge task. The size of this goal made him nervous but also determined, knowing the potential reward could be a massive gold discovery and a place in history. His team had already mined 60 of the 90 planned acres. This massive effort brought in around 52,000 ounces of gold, a clear sign of their hard work. But there were still 30 acres left, and the clock was ticking as the mining season neared its end. The pressure was on to finish the job before time ran out. But things were about to get even more intense. This critical moment brings up big questions about the future of gold mining. Before diving deeper into how he found this huge gold mine, how much do you know about the star of Gold Rush? He is a familiar face from the hit Discovery Channel show. He grew up in a mining family and made a name for himself through hard work and determination in the gold mining world. What might surprise you is that even with all his experience, Parker is still quite young. Born on July 22, 1994, he's only 29 years old. He started mining early at his family's Big Nugget mine in Haines, Alaska. At 6 feet tall, he has a strong and tough look that matches his hard-working attitude.
All I know is that there was a huge gold rush there in the 80s. Billions of dollars worth of gold got found.
His entrepreneurial side showed when he decided to spend his college savings on his mining business instead of going to school, a choice his mom didn't agree with. Meeting Tony Beets and moving to the Yukon was a turning point for him. This decision allowed him to use his skills where they mattered most. It turned out to be the right move, as he not only got his money back, but also made a big profit, proving himself in the tough world of gold mining. Parker faces new tests as his journey continues. The unseen fortune in the mining world. From a young, talented newcomer in the mining world to one of the industry's leading figures, he has reached incredible heights in his career and wealth. His relentless drive and sharp business sense have earned him not only vast riches, but also a large group of supporters. While his work is often highlighted on the show Gold Rush, he tends to keep his personal life private. Currently, he is single, and this has sparked a lot of curiosity and conversations. Although the show often portrays him as coming from a modest background, he is actually quite wealthy, with a net worth of about $10 million, a clear sign of his success in gold mining. His wealth primarily comes from his mining operations. By the time he was 24, he had already mined gold worth over $15 million. His mining adventures have taken him all over the world, from the famous Klondike Gold Rush trails to remote places like Guyana and Papua New Guinea. Aside from his mining profits, he also earns a lot from his appearances on Gold Rush and his spin-off show Parker's Trail. The big question is, how did he manage to uncover such a massive gold mine? Excitement is running high at his mining site, with the team in a race to dig up as much gold as possible from this rich land. A crucial part of their success is a huge mining machine called Slucifer, which has already reached 67% of its expected gold recovery. Now that they're 2/3 into this profitable mining area, Slucifer has significantly increased their overall gold output, proving to be a great investment. This machine works around the clock, processing high-quality dirt to maximize gold extraction.
This thing's much lighter than that, much better to move.
So far, the results have been excellent, and the team expects even more as Slucifer continues to process the remaining dirt. Every day, the anticipation for a record-breaking gold haul grows. Meanwhile, another important machine, the wash plant called Big Red, has started processing dirt from a large 24-acre area known as the Runway Cut. This is one of their biggest and most challenging operations. Mitch Bloss, one of the team members, points out how demanding this job is because they're handling more than twice the usual amount of dirt they typically process. The runway cut is divided into two sections. One is wet and the other is dry, making it difficult to keep a steady supply of dirt to the wash plants. Drying out the dirt is essential for smooth operation, and just when the team seems to be adjusting, another issue pops up. The grizzly bars, which filter out large rocks, start to fail. Liam noticed the machine wasn't working right. He quickly told Mitch about the issue, knowing it could be a big problem if they didn't fix it soon. Mitch, understanding how serious this was, immediately stopped everything to deal with it. He knew that any delay could mess up their schedule for inspections. The mining gear takes a hit, leading to urgent repairs. The struggle to maintain Big Red. When Mitch looked closer, he saw that the grizzly bars were really bent and out of place after months of heavy use. It had been 5 months of constant work, and now the equipment was showing signs of wear. Realizing they needed to fix this quickly, Mitch called Ty, a co-worker with great mechanical skills, to help out. They both examined the machine and found more problems. The frame holding the bars was badly bent and a key hinge had come off the hopper. It was clear they needed to fix things fast if they wanted to keep up their gold mining operations. Mitch and Ty knew the longer they waited, the more time and money they would lose. They had to act right away to either fix or replace the damaged parts and get the machinery running smoothly again. They decided to fix the grizzly bars by straightening the frame, putting the hinge back on, and welding a support plate. But reshaping the heavy metal wasn't easy, and the job took 6 hours. When they were finally done, everyone was relieved. The machine, which they called Big Red, roared back to life, and the operation could continue. Even though the repair was solid, they knew it might not last the whole year, and that future improvements would be needed to avoid the same problems. But this wasn't the end of their worries. To make sure they didn't face similar issues again, they adjusted the feeder speed to reduce stress on the machine and allow materials to flow more smoothly. They also started using a second wash plant to share the workload so no single machine would be overloaded. This change was important as they pushed to meet their big goals for the season. Even though there was a lot of pressure, the team stayed focused on making the most of the remaining time in the season. Mitch reminded them that the work was tough, expensive, and time-consuming. But he also pointed out how important it was to process the material carefully, because if they didn't, they could lose valuable opportunities and material.
Get the generator running, and hopefully everything shakes, get these belts tracking, and back to making some money.
Their ability to handle these challenges showed how resilient they were. Not long after, he, their leader, called a meeting to go over some recent events. This included a near accident with a rock truck, a reminder of how unpredictable their work could be. His crew had already mined 60 acres and produced 5,732 ounces of gold, which showed how hard they had been working. But things didn't always go smoothly. Even though Big Red was working slower after the repairs, the first results were encouraging. They got about 278 ounces of gold, which gave the team a boost. As they continued processing material, they recovered an additional 3,428 ounces. Moving some of the material to the second wash plant was clearly paying off, as it helped them recover even more gold. By the end of the season, they had brought in a total of 620 ounces of gold, worth about $1 million. Challenges keep coming as the season nears its end. The lethal pursuit at Indian River. But here's the thing, they weren't done yet. Now, they had to figure out how to keep up this success and deal with any challenges that were sure to come their way as they kept chasing gold. At Parker Schnabel's Indian River mining site, the morning kicked off with a lot of hard work. Mitch Blasco was in charge of sorting through a huge pile of pay dirt, racing against time as the mining season was coming to an end. Their machines, Big Red and Slucifer, were running non-stop, and keeping everything moving was more important than ever. To help things along, Mitch promoted a new team member from driving trucks to handling the loader, pointing out how their positive attitude really helped boost team morale.
Man, there's a lot of little stuff that gets taken care of or needs to get taken care of.
But things didn't go smoothly for long. Big Red, one of their key machines, suddenly broke down. This was a big problem, especially since Parker was just coming back from Alaska. With their main gold processor out of action, the team found themselves in a tight spot. They needed to fix Big Red as fast as possible. At Parker's other mining area, Mitch and a newer worker, Tyson, were dealing with the aftermath of Big Red's breakdown. Another miner, Evans, noticed rocks in the sluice, which signaled a serious problem. Mitch quickly guessed that the screen was damaged. Upon checking, he found rocks scattered everywhere and a large tear in the screen. It was clear they needed to act fast. The crew jumped into action. Every minute Big Red was down meant losing gold and money. Mitch and his team worked hard, removing the large rocks that had torn the screen. The rough rocks they were mining were tough on machinery, and Mitch and Tyson knew they had to fix the screen quickly to avoid further delays. But fixing the screen was no easy task. It was tough work, but essential to get Big Red working again. After a lot of effort, the screen was replaced, and the team was relieved that Evans had spotted the problem early. If he hadn't, they could have lost a lot more time and resources. However, the biggest test was yet to come. Parker was back on site. Everyone felt nervous, wondering how he would react and whether the repairs would hold up. The team waited anxiously to see if Big Red would be back at full strength. It weighed 695 ounces and was worth over $120,000. The gift meant a lot, not just because of its value, but because it symbolized their success as a team. Once operations were back up, the first gold processed from the newly opened cut came in at 51.6 ounces, worth over $90,000. Hopes were high for big profits, with a chance to earn up to $500,000 if Big Red kept running smoothly for the week. At the same time, Slucifer kept processing material from another cut, and the latest cleanup brought in an impressive 210 ounces of gold, greatly increasing their total. With everything running again, the team was excited to see the results of their hard work. After wrapping up at the Yukon site, Parker turned his attention to Fred Lewis's site as he made his way to his claims in Alaska. Although Parker was busy managing both the Yukon and Alaska, he focused more on Alaska because of its promising prospects. Still, he worried about the challenges Alaska posed, especially the tough conditions at Fred's mining site. What challenges do you think are harsher? The ones in Yukon or Alaska? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.